a suitcase since the middle of June, walking through rooms that I'll have to leave soon. I thought by the winter the load would get light, that the ghost of your shadow would drift out of sight. But it's 2026 and the snow's at the door, and I'm dragging your memory across the wood floor. It's not a sharp sting, it's not a quick cut, it's a door in my chest that's permanently shut. I try to be graceful, I try to be strong, to pack up the right and move past the wrong. But your name in my throat is a stone I can't swallow, and the path that I'm taking feels jagged and hollow. I saw your old watch in the back of the drawer, and I couldn't even pick it up off of the floor. It's like the gravity changed when you walked away. Now I'm struggling just to get through the day. You say time is a healer, but time is a thief who leaves you with nothing but the weight of the grief. Yeah, it's just the weight of the grief. I thought it would fade like a song on the breeze. I thought I would find a new version of ease, but the air in this house is too thick to breathe. In the vacuum of space that you decided to leave, it's not a clean break, it's a slow motion crush. It's the sound of a world falling into a hush. I've said it 1,000 times, and I'm ready to be glad, but God, goodbye still feels heavy. Goodbye still feels so heavy. I went to the park where we carved out our names, but the bark has grown over our juvenile games. The earth moved along, the seasons marched on, but I'm still stuck in the hour you were gone. I'm a lead-weighted diver in a deep dark sea, searching for the person I used to be. But the pressure is rising, the light is so dim, and I've forgotten the way that I used to swim. Where does it lead? I'd be lighter by now. I really thought I'd be free, but Dubai is a mountain sitting on top of me. Still feels heavy. I've deleted your number at least a dozen times, but I've got it memorized like these bitter regrets. I told my mother I'm doing better on my own. Then I spent 3 hours staring at my silent phone. They say the first month is the hardest one to take, but we're deep into 2026 and I still feel the ache. I see your favorite brand of cereal in the aisle, and I have to turn away because I've forgotten how to smile. I moved the couch so I wouldn't see the spot where you sat, but the shadows in the corner still look like your hat. The we became an I and the ours became a mine, but I'm still living on your clock, still living on your time. I went to that bar where we had our first fight, thinking maybe the closure would help me sleep tonight, but the air felt like iron and the gin tasted like lead, and I'm still sleeping on the very edge of the bed. I've done the work, I've read the books, I've tried to let it be, but the ghost of your exit is still haunting me. Yeah, it's still haunting me. They promised me a clean break, a new start, a life, but I'm still losing every battle in the middle of the night. I thought by now the memory would start to fade and rust, but it's still sharp as a diamond, turning my heart to dust. I've said the word 1,000 times, I've screamed it at the sky, but there ain't nothing good about a goodbye. It's been a year, but it feels like a second ago. God, it still hurts. Why does it still hurt so? Goodbye still hurts. I saw a picture of you in a jacket I've never seen, looking happy and healthy, looking calm and serene, and it killed me to know that you found a new way to breathe. While I'm still gasping for air in the wake of your leave, are you sleeping through the night? Do you ever hear my name? Or did you burn all the bridges and forget the flame? I'm a wreck in the ocean, I'm a bird with a broken wing, and I'm still waiting for the healing that 2026 was supposed to bring. They lied, they said time was a healer, but time is just a thief and a cold-hearted dealer. It takes away the touch, but it leaves all the stains. It takes away the bird, but it leaves all the wings. I'm screaming goodbye until my throat is raw, but I'm still trapped in the gravity of the us that I saw. Why doesn't it get less? I really thought I'd be okay. It's Sunday and it's raining and I still miss you. Goodbye still hurts. It still hurts so bad. Your calendar's turned over to remote 2026, but I'm still holding on to things I know I cannot fix. I looked at our old photos until the colors started to fade, counting all the cancers that we so bravely made. I used to think that effort was the fuel for the flame, that if I just kept giving, you would eventually feel the same. I left the porch light burning till the bowl finally died, waiting for the version of you that hadn't learned to hide. I memorized your coffee order, I learned your favorite song. I stayed up through the winter nights just to prove that I belong. I was your safety net when you were falling from the wire. I was the cool, calm water when your world was caught on fire. I gave you every yes, even when my soul was saying no, because I thought that staying meant I loved you more than letting go. But the more I poured into you, the more I felt the leak. I was trying to be the strong one while you kept me feeling weak. And they tell me that love is a battle, that love is a war, but I've forgotten what exactly I was fighting for. Yeah, I've forgotten what I'm fighting for. I didn't love you halfway, I didn't love you in parts. I gave you the absolute best of my jagged, beating heart. I climbed every mountain and I swam across the sea. I became the version of us that you refused to be. You can walk away and say it wasn't meant to be, but don't you dare say that the failure was on me. I don't regret the time and I don't regret the stuff. I'm just standing here knowing I loved you enough. Yeah, I loved you enough. I saw you at the station, looking looking polished, looking new, like you'd finally found a way to bridge the gap inside of you. And for a second I was angry, then for a second I was blue, because I realized I was just the bridge that you walked through. I was the one who held the torch so you could find your way, while I was left to wither in the shadows of the day. You've got a new life now, and I've got a hollow chest, but at least I can sleep knowing that I gave you my absolute best. Was it my fault for caring? Was it like I for the light, for being the only one who didn't give up on the fight? I was an ocean of devotion, you were a cup with a crack. I was giving you my future while you were looking back. I exhausted every maybe, I exhausted every try. I've got no more hellos left inside of this goodbye. I gave you everything, I gave you more than I I gave you everything, I gave you more than I I'm empty now, but I'm finally clean. It wasn't that I didn't care, it was that I cared too much. I loved you enough. The coffee's cold on your side of the bed, and I'm still replaying every word you said. You spoke of forever like it was a place. Now I'm just a ghost memorizing your space. I left the porch light on, a habit I can't break, even though I know it's a beautiful mistake. The silence in this hallway is getting way too loud. I'm looking for your shadow in every passing cloud. And they say time is a healer, that the bleeding will stop, but I'm still at the bottom looking at the drop. Yeah, I'm still at the bottom. I didn't love you in pieces, I didn't love you in parts. I gave you the note to the darkest corners of my heart. I put every drop until my own well ran dry. I didn't leave a single hello for a goodbye. your car idling down on 5th and Main. For a second I forgot how to feel the pain. I almost reached out, almost called your name, but the person I loved doesn't look the same. You've got a new smile, a new way to move, while I'm stuck in the rhythm of a broken groove. You took the best of me and folded it away like a winter cold on a summer day. And they tell me to move on, to find someone new, but how do I start over when my everything was you? Yeah, my everything was you. I didn't love you in pieces, I didn't love you in parts. I gave you the map to the darkest corners of my heart. I poured every drop until my own well ran dry. I didn't leave a single hello for a goodbye. Now I'm standing in the rain on the bridge that you burned, counting all the lessons that I never should have learned. God, it hurts to be the only one who stayed, knowing I loved you fully and you just played it. It's sad. Was I too much, or were you just too little? Why did you leave me to break in the middle? I was an ocean, you wanted a stream. I was the wake up, you were the dream. I gave you my soul, not a virgin, not a lie. I loved you enough for the both of us to fly, but you let me fall. Yeah, you let me fall. I didn't love you in pieces, I didn't love you in parts. I gave you the map to the darkest corners of my heart. I poured every drop until my own well ran dry. I didn't leave a single hello for a goodbye. Now I'm standing in the rain on the bridge that you burned, counting all the lessons that I never should have learned. God, it hurts to be the only one who stayed, knowing I loved you fully, I loved you fully. Every broken piece, every hollow part, I loved you fully, and now I'm just empty. The sun came up on Monday, just like it always does. But the world is missing pieces of the way it used to be, because the us has been divided, the forever hit a wall. And I'm still standing in the kitchen, waiting for your call. I've rearranged the furniture, I've scrubbed the wooden floors, I've I've tried to lock the memories behind a dozen heavy doors, but the smell of your tobacco or the way you take your tea keeps leaking through the floorboards like a ghost I can't set free. They say the first week is the hardest, then the edges start to blur, but I'm still feeling every sting of exactly who we were. It's not a clean break, it's a jagged, rusting blade, and I'm still bleeding from the promises we made. Oh, they told me it would fade, they told me I'd be fine, that goodbye was just a border or a simple finish line. But it's a canyon in my chest, it's a mountain I can't climb, it's a slow motion disaster at the end of all my time. I've said the word 1,000 times, I've watched your taillights go, but there's a root inside my spirit that won't let the shadow go. I'm over the horizon, but I'm still lost in the dark. Yeah, goodbye still hits me like a bullet to the heart, and it hurts. God, it hurts deep. I saw you in a dream last night, you were reaching for my hand. We were walking on the shoreline of a distant, quiet land. I woke up to the silence and the cold side of the bed, and the echoes of the "it's over" that you finally went and said. It's the small things that betray me, like the way I buy for two, or the way I save a story that I only want to tell to you. You're a habit I can't break, you're a song I can't unhear, and goodbye is just a whisper that is screaming in my ear. I'm waiting for the numbness, for the I don't care to start, but the distance only seems to stretch the fibers of my heart. I thought that I was stronger, I thought I'd stand my ground, but goodbye is a heavy stone that's dragging me down. Oh, they told me it would fade, they told me I'd be fine, that goodbye was just a border or a simple finish line. But it's a canyon in my chest, it's a mountain I can't climb, it's a slow motion disaster at the end of all my time. I've said the word 1,000 times, I've watched your taillights go, but there's a root inside my spirit that won't let the shadow go. I'm over the horizon, but I'm still lost in the dark. Yeah, goodbye still hits me like a bullet to the heart, and it hurts. God, it hurts deep. It's deep in the marrow, it's deep in the bone, it's the terrifying anthem of being alone. It's not just a word, it's a severance of soul, it's the half of a person that'll never be whole. But they lied to me in 25. I'm barely hanging on. I'm barely still alive. It's a canyon in my chest. It's a mountain I can't climb. It's a slow motion disaster at the end of all my time. I've said the word 1,000 times. I've watched your taillights go. But there's a root inside my spirit that won't let the shadow go. I'm over the horizon, but I'm still lost in the dark. Yeah, goodbye still hits me like a bullet to the heart, and it hurts. God, it hurts deep. So deep. Like a well with no bottom. Like a winter that forgot the autumn. Goodbye. It still hurts deep. Walking through the park in the 2026 spring, watching all the joy that the Sunday morning brings. I saw a couple tripping over nothing on the grass, and for a second I could see a shadow in the glass. The way we catch a look across a crowded, noisy room and find a hidden silver lining in the heavy gloom. We had a secret language, we had a private code, 1,000,000 tiny punchlines for the heavy, winding road. The house is way too quiet, the TV's on the mute. I'm staring at the ceiling in my Tuesday morning suit. I tried to tell a joke today to man behind the bar, but the timing was all off and the punchline fell too far. Without your harmony, the humor's out of key. I'ma stand up in a desert with no one watching me. I miss the way you'd snore when you were trying to be poised. I miss the beautiful, chaotic, happy noise. And they say, stay busy, they say keep your head up high. But I'm just looking for a reason not to let a good day die. Yeah, I'm just looking for a reason. I miss the I can't breathe, I miss the don't you dare, I miss the way our spirits used to dance upon the air. The world is getting heavy, the world is getting cold, and I'm the only one left holding on to stories never told. I don't just miss your body, I don't just miss your face, I miss the way we used to brighten up this hollow space. Now everything is serious, everything is vast. God, I miss our lives, I just miss our lives. Found an old voice memo on my phone from New Year's Eve. We were drunk on cheap champagne and things we still believe. You were trying to tell a story about a dog you saw uptown, but you couldn't get a word out cause I kept on breaking down. I played it 10 times over just to feel the vibration, the ghosty echo of our favorite conversation. And the recording ended and the silence hit the wall, and I realized that I haven't smiled in no time at all. Bring back the light, bring back the spark, the way we used to whistle in the middle of the dark. I'm tired of being strong, world small. Now the jokes aren't funny, and the room is just a wall. I'm still waiting for you to tell me it's a prank. I miss our laughs. Sitting in the diner on 4th and Vine, sitting in the booth that was yours and mine. The waitress asked if I was waiting for a friend. I didn't have the heart to say we'd reach the end. I see the ghost of us in the steam of the cup. Before we grew tired, before we gave up, we were just two kids with a map and no plan, holding on to life with both of our hands. There's a hole in the sweater you left on the chair. I can't bring myself to fix it, I just leave it there, because it smells like the summer of 2024. Back when we didn't need a lock on the door. The world was so small, just the size of your room. Now it's an ocean of shadow and gloom. I'm looking for us in the people I meet, but I'm just a stranger on a familiar street. I'm not saying I want you back here tonight, 'cause we both know we lost the will for the fight. But I'm haunted by the versions of who we used to be, back when you were the anchor and I was the sea. I don't miss the yelling, I don't miss the tears, I don't miss the weight of the last couple years. I don't miss the silence or the way that we lied, or the cold empty feeling of dying inside. But I miss the good morning, I miss the stay late, I miss when our love didn't feel like a fade. I don't miss the now and the us that didn't last, but God, I miss our past. I drove past your house in the 2020 scent snow, watching the windows for a familiar glow. But the curtains are different, the garden is dead, just like all the promises that we ever said. You're a different person and I'm someone new. just want the us that didn't know how to break. I don't miss the yelling, I don't miss the tears, I don't miss the weight of the last couple years. I don't miss the silence or the way that we lied, or the cold empty feeling of dying inside. But I miss the good morning, I miss the stay late, I miss when our love didn't feel like a fade. I don't miss the now and the us that didn't last, but God, I miss our past. I miss the 2 a.m. drives, I miss the we're gonna make it eyes. You're still here, but we are gone. The sun is coming up on a different dawn. I don't miss you, I just miss our past. The calendar on the wall says January 2026, but I'm still stuck in the us that I can't quite fix. We wrote our names in the cement of the driveway outside, 2 young believers with nothing to hide. You said forever like it was a law of the land, while you were tracing the lines in the palm of my hand. I built a cathedral out of the things that you said. Now I'm just a ghost haunting the side of the bed. It wasn't a sudden explosion, a crash or a flare. It was just the slow thinning of the oxygen in the air. One day you were my home, the next you were a room filled with the scent of a flower that would never quite bloom. We watched the always turn into a maybe, then a now to right now, then a don't call me baby. The infinity symbol we drew in the dust turned into a circle of iron and rust. And the stars didn't fall and the sun didn't freeze, the world just kept moving with terrifying ease. Yeah, it just kept moving. I guess the poets were wrong and the songs were like, 'cause forever just found a new way to die. We had the heart and we had the spark, but we couldn't outrun the encroaching dark. I poured my whole soul into a cup that was cracked, and I can't get a single second of always back. We gave it our best, we stood on the crest, but love didn't last forever. No, love didn't last forever. I saw you today in the light of the pharmacy aisle. I saw the way you've been practicing a different smile. You looked like a memory wearing a human skin, a house I no longer have the key to get in. I wanted to ask if you still have that old blue coat, or if you burned the last desperate letter I wrote. but you looked right through me like I was made of glass, and I felt the ghost of our forever past. It was supposed to be the ocean, it was supposed to be the sky, it wasn't supposed to be a well, at least we gave it a try. Why did we promise? Why did we swear? Why did we act like the end wasn't there? It's a lie we all tell, it's a trick of the light to keep us from screaming in the middle of the night. Deliver us and have it I guess the poets were wrong and the songs were a lie, 'cause forever just found a new way to die. We had the heart and we had the spark, but we couldn't outrun the encroaching dark. I poured my whole soul into a cup that was cracked, and I can't get a single second of always back. We gave it our best, we stood on the crest, but love didn't last forever. Oh, love didn't last forever. It didn't last forever. It didn't even last the year. I'm still here, but we are gone. It was just a long hello to a final goodbye. Love didn't last forever. You walked into the room with that look of 2026 grace, a brand new story written all across your face. I was building a future on the words you swore were stone, never thinking I'd be sitting in this kitchen all alone. I gave you the map to the places I was weak. I gave you the silence when you didn't want to speak. I thought loyalty was a language that we both had learned to fly, but you were just an expert at the beautiful, honest lie. I saw your phone light up on the nightstand near the bed, a name I didn't know, and a message I shouldn't have read. The world didn't end with a bang or a thunderous sound. It just quietly crumbled right into the ground. I looked at your sleeping face, so calm and so serene, while I was drowning in a space of everything between. I had built a temple on the promise of your name. Now I'm just standing in the ashes of a manufactured flame, and they say love is a shelter They say love is a home, but love is a desert where I'm forced to roam. Yeah, I'm forced to roam. We had the passion, yeah, we had the light. We had the forever in the middle of the night. We had the history and we had the plans. I held your world in the palms of my hands. But you can't build a life on shifting sand, and you can't make a heart understand. I gave you my soul and I gave you my youth, but the one thing I needed, love, didn't stay true. No, love didn't stay true. I'm packing your bags in the gray morning light. Every shirt is a memory of a different kind of fight. I found the card you gave me for our 3-year mark. I'll never leave you alone in the dark. Ironic, isn't it, as I turn out the lamp and the air in this hallway feels heavy and damp. You didn't just break a heart, you broke a man's woman's side. I don't know what's real or what's wrong or what's wrong. Was it easy to look me in the eye? Was it easy to construct every single lie? Did you feel a shiver? Did you feel a sting when you realized you were throwing away everything? I was your anchor, I was your rock. Now I'm just a ghost watching the hands of the I was true to you. I was true to every word, and you treated my heart like a common We had the passion, yeah, we had the light. We had the forever in the middle of the night. We had the history and we had the plans. I held your world in the palms of my hands. But you can't build a life on a shifting sand, and you can't make a heart understand. I gave you my soul and I gave you my youth, but the one thing I needed, love, didn't stay true. beautiful, but you're not mine. I kept my word, I kept my heart open, but you, love didn't stay true. I found the Polaroid tucked in the kitchen drawer. The edges are yellowed, we don't look like that anymore. We were invincible, leaning against your old car, thinking that someday was never really that far. But the seasons change without asking our permission, and we drifted apart through a slow, quiet attrition. I didn't notice the distance until it was a canyon. Now I'm walking this trail without my companion. Promised the stars that we'd never burn out, but the years have a way of whispering doubt. It wasn't a fight, it wasn't a flare-up of rage, it was just the slow turning of a final page. The I love yous got shorter, the nights got so long, until we forgot the words to our favorite song. We held on so tight that our knuckles turn white, but you can't hold a shadow when you're losing the light. And I'd trade every tomorrow just to have yesterday, before the colors of us started fading to gray. Yeah, before we started fading away. We had the heart, we had the soul, we had the fire, we had the spark and the terrifying desire. We built a castle on the edge of the sea and swore that the tide would leave you and me. But the minutes were waves and the hours were salt. It wasn't your weakness, it wasn't my fault. We gave it everything, we fought the climb, but our love didn't survive. No, it didn't survive time. I see you in line at the grocery store, and I don't even know what you like anymore. Is it still black coffee? Do you still hate the rain? How did we become experts at hiding the pain? You look like a memory wearing a face, a beautiful stranger taking up space. We're two different people than the ones in the frame, with nothing left between us but the sound of a name. They say love is timeless, they say love is gold, but they don't tell you how it gets brittle and cold. They don't tell you that forever is a heavy cross to bear when the person you love is no longer there. We aged, we broke, we bent, we frayed, and watched the foundation we built start to fade. Time is a thief. Took the ups out of the rest of my life. We had the heart, It wasn't your weakness, it wasn't my fault. We gave it everything, we fought the climb, but our love didn't survive. No, it didn't survive time. The clock on the wall, it just keeps moving on. Another second here, another version of us gone. I still love you, but I don't know who you are. I guess love didn't survive. No, we didn't survive. Sitting in the kitchen as the 2020 sets into its sin, tracing the places on my skin where your touch has been. From the outside I look steady, I look healed and I look whole, but there's a quiet catastrophe happening in my soul. It's not a cut that you can bandage, it's not a bone that you can set. It's the kind of heavy hollow that I haven't finished yet. I tried to drown the feeling in the noise of the day, but the silence always finds a way to take the breath away. Saw your old handwriting on a box in the garage, and for a second my whole life felt like a cruel mirage. The pain didn't hit my eyes, no, it didn't make me cry. It just settled in my marrow like a dark and heavy sky. It's a dull, persistent thrumming, like a drum beneath the floor, reminding me of everything that isn't anymore. You didn't just break a promise, you didn't just leave the room, you planted something permanent that started now to bloom. And they ask me where it hurts, and I point toward my chest, but the truth is it's moved into the parts that never rest. Yeah, the parts that never rest. It's a localized disaster, it's a slow burning fire, it's the ghost of every always and every lost desire. It's sinking through the muscles, it's rattling the bone, it's the heaviest vibration that I've ever known. You didn't leave a scar on the surface for the world to see. You buried the dimmest and the deepest part of me. I'm walking, I'm talking, I'm putting on a show. Love hurt deep, further down than you could know. Yeah, love hurt deep, love hurt deep inside. like a threat, because I'm still paying interest on a heart-shaped debt. I'm a hollowed out cathedral, I'm a mind that's been stripped bare. I'm a map of all the places where you used to be there. It's the weight of the gravity in a world without your light. It's the ache that wakes me up in the middle of the night. Tear it out, it's the root of you that's wrapped around my heart. Tear it out before it pulls the rest of me apart. I can't breathe through the pressure, I can't see through the haze. I'm lost in the labyrinth of our better days. It's a poison, it's a fever, it's a cold steel blade. It's the price for every single memory we made. Why does it go so deep? We're just to stay on the surface, dimmed inside, past the skin, past the pride, underneath the I'm okay. Underneath the I'll find a way. What's still there? It's always there. Load hurt. Deep inside. Deep past the skin, past the pride, underneath the I'm okay. Underneath the I'll find a way. It's still there. It's always there. Love hurt. Deep inside. I used to be a mountain, I used to be a stone. I carried every burden like a king upon a throne. I had armor made of iron, I had walls up to the sky. No one ever saw me tremble, no one ever saw me cry. Then you came with your kindness, a soft and steady light, and you whispered that the war was over in the middle of the night. I let you take my shield, I let you take my blade. I didn't know I was handing you the only strength I made. Now I'm standing in the kitchen, and the floor feels like it's glass. I'm watching every minute of a lonely hour pass. I can't even lift the kettle, I can't even hold a pen. I don't know how to be the person that I was back then. You took the strong out of my spirit when you walked out of the door, leaving me in pieces on this cold and empty floor. My knees are always shaking, my breath is always thin. I'm a hollow shell of who I was before I let you in. They say that love is power, they say it makes you brave, but it's just a slow surrender to the thing you couldn't save. Yeah, it's a slow surrender. I used to stand so tall, I used to be so tough, before I realized that me was never quite enough. I gave you every muscle, I gave you every bone. Now I'm shivering in the silence of a house that's not a home. You didn't break my heart, you just took my will to fight and left me at the mercy of the shadows in the night. I thought it was a blessing, but it's a leak I couldn't see. God, it's terrifying. Love left me weak, yeah, it left me so weak. I saw my own reflection in the window of the cab. I looked like a ghost that had forgotten how to stay. There's a softness in my shoulders that I don't recognize, and a permanent exhaustion living underneath my eyes. I try to find the anger, I try to find the pride, but there's nothing left but yesterday living deep inside. I'm a bird without a current, I'm a boat without a sail, just a story about a hero who was destined just to fail. Where did I go? Where is the man I used to be? The one who didn't need a hand across a stormy sea. You hollowed me out, you drained all the blood, you left my foundation sinking in the mud. I'm an echo, I'm a shadow, I'm a ghost of my own name, and I'm the only one left standing in the ashes of the flame. Give me back my strength. can't even reach for the light. I can't even say goodbye. I'm just so tired. Love didn't save me, it just left me weak. It wasn't a crash, and it wasn't a scream. It wasn't the nightmare that wakes you from a dream. It was a quiet erosion, a softening of the stone, a slow motion drifting into the unknown. We didn't wake up one morning and decide to be done. We just stopped reaching for the light of the sun. A little less laughter, a little more space, until I didn't recognize the lines on your face. It was the way you stopped asking how my day had been, the way the I love yous grew paper thin. We were a mountain, but the wind took the peak, one grain at a time, making us weak. I watched the fire turn to ember, then turn into gray, while we sat on the sofa with nothing to say. It's 20 tatty sheets and the world is still spinning around, but we're just two feathers floating down to the rounds. The gravity, or maybe it's the weight of the wave, watching the lock slowly rest on the gate. You're watching the rust on the gate. It didn't break all at once, it didn't shatter like glass. It was a long, cold winter that wouldn't pass. We didn't go down in a blaze or a glory, we just ran out of ink in the middle of the story. One leaf at a time, one beat at a slow, until there was nowhere left for us to go. I didn't see the end coming, I didn't hear beautiful. I found a receipt from 3 years ago for a dinner in April that we didn't know would be the last time we'd look at each other and see the person we were when we were wild and free. You're a ghost in the hallway, I'm a shadow in the room, waiting for the silence to lower the boom. We're not even fighting, we're just letting go, like the steady soft piling of December snow. I wish you'd hit me with the bolts of lightning. I wish the end had been loud and frightening, because I could fight a storm, I could brave the rain, but I don't know how to stop this gradual pain. We're sinking in the honey, we're drowning in the calm. There's a slow burning fuse in the palm of my hand. Why did we just fight? It felt like a secret that I can't explain. No fire, no sound, just the quietest landing on the cold, hard ground. I fell slowly, and that's the hardest way to fall. I'm digging through the boxes of a life we put away, finding pieces of the us that didn't get to stay. Here's the ticket from the movie where we held hands in the dark, and the dried up pressed carnation from that Sunday in the park. Your handwriting on the back of this dusty photograph still has the power to cut my heart in half. I look at our faces, so hungry and so sure, back when we thought that love was the only cure. Now the neighbors ask about you, and I have to look away. say. You're 1,000 miles of static on a broken radio. A name I used to whisper, now a name I have to let go. But sometimes in the 2026 winter chill, I feel the ghost of your hand sitting on the windowsill. And I wonder if you're looking at the same gray sky, asking the same empty questions, wondering why. They say we were just a phase, a season or a spark, two ships that passed each other blindly in the dark. But they weren't there for the fire, they weren't there for the heat. They didn't feel my heart skipping every single beat. It might be over now, it might be dead and gone. I might be waking up to a lonely kind of dawn. The world might call it young or foolish or lie, and watch the memory of us slowly start to die. But don't you dare tell me that it wasn't worth the cost, or that there's nothing gold in everything we lost. I felt the earth move, I felt the heavens seal. I don't care how it ended, our love was real. I saw you in a dream last night. You were standing by the gate. You told me that you loved me, but we got the timing late. I reached out to touch you, but the air just turned to smoke. And I was back in the silence before the morning broke. We're just two different stories in two different books now, living out the never of a broken-hearted vow. But the scar on my soul is the shape of your name, and I'd do it all over. I'd walk through the flame. It wasn't a shadow, it wasn't a ghost, it was the thing in this world that I needed the most. We weren't just playing, we weren't just pretend. Even if we couldn't make it to the very end, let the world keep turning, let the bridge keep burning. It was real when you held me. It was real when we cried. It was real even on the day it died. I'm keeping the ticket, I'm keeping the light. Our love was real once, yeah. It was real. I'm sitting in the kitchen with the 2020 since frost on the pane, trying to remember how it felt to have sun instead of rain. The heater's humming loudly, but it can't reach the bone. There's a specific kind of winter that you only feel alone. I saw your old scarf hanging on the hook behind the door. I reached out to touch it, then I sank onto the floor. The wool doesn't smell like you, the scent has finally died, and I'm just a hollow shell with nowhere left to hide. Say the end is a fire, a crash or a spark, but for me it's just the steady, quiet encroaching of the dark. It's the way the air turned brittle when you walked out of the room. It's the sudden, sharp arrival of a permanent gloom. Yeah, I've run out of heroes. I thought the end would burn, I thought the end would ache, I thought it would be a fever that would keep me wide awake. But it's a sudden drop in pressure, it's a sheet of solid ice, it's the terrifying silence of a love that died twice. There's no heat in the memory, there's no light in the gold. Everything I touch is turning bitter and cold. I'm freezing in the aftermath of everything we sold. God, the end feels cold. Yeah, the end feels so cold. I saw you at the station, your breath was a cloud. You were laughing at a joke, and the music was loud. You looked so insulated, you looked so wrapped in red, while I was standing there like a person already dead. Our eyes didn't meet, no, you didn't see the ghost standing in the shadows of the things I miss the most. left behind. Why is it so cold? Why is it so gray? The cold is the only thing that's gonna stay. I thought the end would burn. I thought the end would ache. I thought it would be a fever that would keep me wide awake. But it's a sudden drop in pressure. It's a sheet of solid ice. It's the terrifying silence of a love that died twice. There's no heat in the memory. There's no light in the gold. Everything I touch is turning bitter and cold. I'm freezing in the aftermath of everything we sold. God, the end feels cold. Why is it so cold? Why is it so gray? The cold is the only thing that's gonna stay. I can't feel my fingers. I can't feel my heart. The fire is out. The wood is all gone. I'm just so cold. The end feels cold. I've been keeping the wine on the shelf where you liked it, and the book on the nightstand, the page still unbent. I was waiting for the punchline, for the just kidding moment, to reclaim all the oxygen that you went and spent. I kept your old sweater at the foot of the mattress, thinking if I kept the scent I could keep the soul. But the cotton is fading, the perfume is dying, and I'm losing my grip on the things I control. They say that the mind plays a trick on the lonely, that the heart is a compass that points to a ghost. I've walked through the rooms of this house like a stranger, trying to find which version of us I miss most. I checked the driveway when I heard a car engine. I felt my chest tight and I reached for the handle, but it was just the wind knocking over the flowers and the cold gray wax of a burnt out candle. I was living in the maybe, I was hiding in the soon, howling like a dog at a holographic moon. But the fever is breaking, the light's coming in, and I'm losing the place where you end and I begin. Oh, the end isn't a concept, it's not a bad dream, it's the sound of the silence where your voice used to be. It's the weight of the key as it turns in the lock. It's the hand staying still on the face of the clock. I spent a lifetime building up forever with you. Now I'm standing in the ruins of the house that I knew. It's sinking in deep, it's away, filled up with the nevers, the trips that we planned, and the names for the kids. It's heavier than lead, it's a coffin of promise, and I'm finally closing the heavy wood lids. I saw you today in a stranger's expression. For a second the world felt steady and right, then they turned away and the color went with them, and I realized I'm back in the middle of the night. It's not a movie where the rain starts to fall, it's not a song where I get a last call. There's no secret letter tucked under the rug, there's no final I love you, no final hug. It's just over. The screen has gone black, there's no road in the world that's gonna lead you back. Yeah, you're never coming back. No, the end isn't a concept, not a bad dream, it's the sound of the silence where your voice used to be. It's the weight of the key as it turns in the lock, it's the hand staying still on the face of the clock. I spent a lifetime building up forever with you, now I'm standing in the ruins of the us that I knew. It's sinking in deep, it's cold and it's steel, God help me. The end is real. The end is real. I can feel the flood beneath my feet again. I can see the dust dancing in the light. You're gone, you're really gone. It's real. I used to wake up to the sun on the floor and a quiet heart that didn't need to ask for more. My mind was a garden, the gates were kept closed. I walked through my days in a steady repose. Then you walked in with your beautiful storm, and I mistook the lightning for a way to stay warm. I let you in deep, past the locks and the guards. Now the garden is buried under glass and old shards. There's a hum in the wires, a static in the air, a frantic vibration that follows me everywhere. I used to know silence, I used to know rest, but now there's a thrumming like a drum in my chest. You left your fingerprints on every white wall and a shadow that grows every time the leaves fall. I'm checking the locks, though I know you're not there. Just a ghost of attention that I can't quite outwear. And the world keeps on spinning, it doesn't wait for in a bottle of wine, or a long drive at midnight across the state line. But the engine just roars with the sound of your name, and the stars in the sky only sharpen the shame. It's the way that I flinch when the phone lights up bright. It's the way that I can't sleep through the middle of the night. I'm a house with no windows, a bird with no sky, just a how are you doing, and I'm fine. Give it back, all the hours I spent feeling whole. Give it back, all the parts of the calm that you stole. I was a lake, you were a stone. Now I'm just a chaos I've never known. You traded my steady for your maybe someday, and you left me with nothing but the bill I have to pay. Yeah, you left me with my peace away. My peace away. The birds are still singing. The world is so loud. I'm just waiting for the quiet. I'm still waiting for the quiet. But you took it. You took it all away. I used to believe every word that you spoke, like a piano in the morning before the world woke. I gave you the keys to the house in my mind, where I kept all the secrets I'd left far behind. The windows were open, the lights were all on. I didn't think twice about where you had gone. I was an open book written in ink. I didn't know I was standing right on the brink. Now it's 2026 and the world is a blur. I see you in shadows where you never were. I'm checking the locks and I'm checking the mail. I'm looking for lies in a ship that won't sail. When somebody smiles, I look for the blade. I'm counting the ghosts of the promises made. You didn't just leave me to cry in the rain. You rewired the way that I process the pain. And they tell me to open up, tell me it's fine. But how do I walk when I'm crossing a mine? wasn't a mine. You could have taken the car, you could have taken the ring, you could have taken every expensive thing. I would have survived the empty rooms and the bed. I would have survived every word that you said. But you went for the center, you went for the spark. You left me afraid of the light and the dark. I'm a house with no floor, I'm a bird with no guts. God, it's so quiet, you took my trust. Yeah, you took my trust. I had dinner with someone who seemed kind and true, but all I could hear was the echo of you. I was dissecting their hello and weighing their high, waiting for the moment they tell me a lie. It's a prison of caution, cage made of doubt, and I can't find the key that'll let me get out. You turned my forever into a maybe, and I hate the suspicious version of me. I was a believer, I was a saint before you smeared the walls with your deceptive paint. You took my yes, you took my sure, you took the part of me that was honest and pure. Now I'm a skeptic, now I'm a wall, waiting for the next heavy hammer to fall. Give it back the way I used to see the world. Give back the girl, boy, what a You could have taken the car, you could have taken the ring, you could have taken every expensive thing. I would have survived the empty rooms and the bed. I would have survived every word that you said. You went for the center, you went for the spark. You left me afraid of the light and the dark. I'm a house with no floor, I'm a bird with no guts. God, it's so quiet, you took my trust. You took my trust. Now I don't know who to believe. I don't even believe myself. The lights are out, the locks are tight, but I'm still not safe. You took it all, you took my trust. I'm standing in the kitchen of the house we used to own, but the air feels different now that I am here alone. The 20/20 sunset is bleeding through the blinds, but it only lights the wreckage that you left behind. I used to know the map of every street in this town, but since you left, the gravity is pulling me down. You didn't just take your clothes and your books from the shelf. You took the version of me that I liked in myself. I went to the park where the trees meet the lake, but every path that take feels like a beautiful mistake. I see your face in the strangers passing by, in the gray of the pavement, in the blue of the sky. I used to have a rhythm, I used to have a plan. Now I'm just a ghost of a person doing what I can. The birds still sing and the cars still go, but I'm living in a world that's moving way too slow. And they say, give it time, you'll find your feet again. But how do I walk when I've lost where I began? Yeah, I lost where I began. You didn't just break a promise, you didn't just say goodbye. You stole the very colors from the center of my eye. I used to have a North Star, I used to have a home. Now I'm drifting through a galaxy, naked and alone. You were the ground beneath me, you were the air I breathe. Now the oxygen is thin and the soil has been clean. I'm a king without a kingdom, a sail without a day. God, it's so quiet. You took my world away. Yeah, you took my world away. I saw your old sweater at the bottom of the bin, and for a second I felt the warmth of your skin. But then the cold rushed back, sharper than a knife, reminding me that you were the context of my life. My friends call me up and I say that I'm fine, but I'm just drawing circles at the end of the line. I'm a clock with no hands, I'm a song with no key, searching for the us in the what's left of me. Where do I go when there's no place to go? How do I grow when there's no seeds to sow? I was an island and you were the sea. Now the tide has gone out and there's nothing but me. I'm screaming in the silence, I'm begging for the spark, but you took the light and you left me the dark. Give it back the way the world used to feel. Give it back before the end was so real. Stars are still there, but I can't see them. The grass is still green, but I can't feel it. I'm still here, but my world is gone. You took it all. You took my world away. You took my world was bracing for a hurricane, a crash, a thunder and a roar. I thought we'd tear the wallpaper and scream across the floor. I had my defenses up, I was ready for the fight, to scream out all the reasons why we couldn't make it right. But you didn't raise your voice, no, you didn't even blink. You just set your house key quietly beside the kitchen sink. You smoothed the wrinkles in your coat and checked the hallway light, like you were just heading out to grab a coffee in the night. There was no trembling in your hands, no fever in your eyes. You didn't offer up a single sorry or some hollow lies. You looked at me like I was just a stranger on a train, someone you'd shared a seat with through a little bit of rain. You didn't even hesitate when you reached for the door, while I was falling through the cracks of our polished wooden floor. The silence that you left behind, heavier than leaving. It's the quietest of funerals for the things we never said. And I'm left here with the wreckage, the static and the heat, trying to find some meaning in the way you didn't beat. Yeah, you didn't even beat. I was a wildfire, and you were just the breeze. I was begging for a reason while I dropped down to my knees. I was bleeding in the hallway, I was begging for a storm, something loud and violent to keep the memory warm. But you didn't leave a scar, no, you didn't leave a trace, just the terrifying stillness of your I'm over it face. My world was ending in a violent, broken jam, but you walked away like you didn't give a damn. Yeah, you walked away calm. It's 2026 now, and the snow is turning gray. I'm still replaying every second of the day you went away. I checked the floorboards for a scuff, I checked the air for sound, searching for a sign that I was more than just a battleground. But you're living in the sunlight, you're breathing in the clear, while I'm still suffocating in the nothing that is here. Did it even hurt to leave? Was it easy to let go? How do you teach a heart to be as cold as J?